Hello, everybody. Good morning. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and welcome along to Championship Review Round 12. We will be going through live and in Technicolor with your comments and your thoughts. All 12 of yesterday and Friday night, indeed's Championship action from Round 12. Let me know if you can see me, hear me loud and clear. Let me know if you're watching a game yesterday and your views on it. We will go through one at a time. So give me your comments as we go. Let's head over. Although I have to do some business first, don't I? I have to give a shout out really quickly to Russ, our fan sponsor for the review shows, a fan and now a friend, Russ Peake, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. We thank Russ. He is our review show fan sponsor. Quick couple of plugs as well. Throw that up down there. Please hit like if you're in the stream, support via Super Chat, Patreon or Teesprings, and hit the subscribe button if you have not already. 13,234 of you have. Join the club. Lovely stuff. Right. Let's bring up the split screen and have a look through this game week's results. It was on Friday night in inauspicious fashion on the watch along. Coventry 0, Birmingham 0. Then in magnificent fashion on the next watch along, Bournemouth 4, Reading 2. That was a joy. Stoke 4, Huddersfield 3. I don't know what was going on there. QPR 1, Watford 1. Wycombe 0, Brentford 0. Preston 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Bristol City 1, Derby 0. Luton 1, Blackburn 1. Millwall 1, Cardiff 1. Barnsley 2, Forest 0. Borough 0, Norwich 1. Swansea 1, Rotherham 0. Those are our results. And all of that means that we have new leaders in the Championship. And I need to go down here and click on Middlesbrough 0, Norwich 1. The Canaries go to Fortress Riverside against a Neil Warnock team not conceding many chances, let alone many goals. And they go there and they get the win. Looking the real deal now, Norwich, and hitting the top of the league for the first time this season. For the Canaries, Krull in goal. Gibson returns into that back four, but still Sorensen deputising at left back. Rupp, Skip, Buendia, Stevenman, Placheta. Hugill starts over Teemu Pukki. And that one for Borough, Bettinelli in goal. Dijksteel, Fry, McNair, Boller, Saville Howson, Spence, Tavernier. He's going to have an interesting one. Johnson and Akpom up top. And the game very much coloured by two penalties. Here's what happens on the first one. We have a still, and that is Tavernier, isn't it? Taking the penalty, left-footed, but look at his standing foot, his right foot. He slips as he takes the penalty, and the referee adjudges the penalty to have been kicked by the left foot onto the right foot, thereby being an infringement. Obviously, the same player cannot touch the ball twice from a penalty situation. It has to touch another player before that player can touch the ball. Unfortunate. Honestly, I haven't seen a conclusive angle. I'm not saying it did or didn't touch twice, but not the result you want from a penalty kick, put it that way. This is the result you want from a penalty kick. There is Teemu Pukki, cool as you like, after a foul on Max Aarons, and he gives Norwich the goal they need to win this game. Let's have a little look at the numbers, and then we will get to your comments here. As you would imagine, in a Warnock versus Farker game, 62% for Norwich there, 12 shots to 9. But shots on target, 4-2 in Borough's favour, 5 corners apiece. 3 big chances to 1 in terms of the sort of XG type figures. And obviously Norwich's one big chance was the penalty kick. So they've gone there and they've done a job by the sounds of it. We need to give them credit for keeping a clean sheet. However, it was assisted by a player falling over from the penalty spot, put it that way. But one cannot ignore Norwich's really excellent form. They are 6 wins and 2 draws in the last 8, which is just superb form. A really good run from the Canaries. Not just unbeaten, but I mean, what is that? 6 wins, 20 points in 8 games. That's fantastic. And it's put them up at the top of the league. So Norwich go top. Borough are in 8th spot now. And look at that. It's when you are a kind of pragmatic team and a draw-heavy team, it's amazing how a lovely unbeaten run turns into 3 without a win straight away, doesn't it? But I suspect Borough fans are still happy overall. And I suspect if I go to the comments, we'll probably have some happy Norwich fans with the look of that table. Let's have a look here. Such an odd match. Norwich, very great defensive performance, says Dan. Out Cullen and Cullen. What a weekend. Absolutely, Russ. Now, listen up, crazy championship teams. We cannot have this Norwich thing at the top. It must end immediately. Elliot says, NCFC, we finally look defensively solid. Absolutely. Good. The defensive side of Norwich working very well. Remember, they're hardly a head it away, kick it away team, but you do find teams that have a lot of possession. And it's just changed a bit since 18-19, hasn't it? Borough haven't scored a goal against Norwich in 6 games now. And you won't get a better chance than a penalty and falling over from it. Shocking. Hello to everybody in the chat here. And well done to Norwich, who have found their way to the top of the table 12 games in. I wonder how many places lower they will now drop between now and the end of the season. Probably not too many, let's just say. Oh, that's a good stat. Norwich have not let in a goal from a set piece. Do you know what? If you went through the season in the Championship not conceding a goal from a set place, I suspect that would get you most of the way halfway up the table already, wouldn't it? The amount of set play goals we get in the Championship. Right. That is done. And we will move on to just a sensational game yesterday lunchtime that we watched on the watch-along show. Hopefully, there's a few people in the chat that joined me. Some of you even said that we deserved a good one after having to sit through Coventry, Birmingham, which for 70 minutes was just absolutely heinously boring and poor, wasn't it? But this was Bournemouth 4, Reading 2, which was just joyous, wasn't it? Reading 2-0 up at half-time and ended up losing 4-2. Brilliant game, this one. Bournemouth there with Begovic in goal, going to a back 4. And it's Brooks, Solanke, Danjuma across the front there. Reading, very helpfully for them. Look, Liam Moore back at centre half and Ovi Ejaria up on the front left there. You can see coming back into the team. So a couple of key players, Yaku Maite as well, back on the bench. And yeah, this was just great. So great work from Semedo to win a penalty, which Lucas João dispatches there for the opener. Then great work by Ovi Ejaria to play through Sonny Aluko, and it's 2-0. Then at half-time, Jason Tyndall makes a very clever little tweak, takes out Diego Rico, puts Chris Metham in, and puts Lloyd Kelly at left back. And all of a sudden, that left-hand side of the Bournemouth team transforms. that cross has come in from the left-hand side from Lloyd Kelly himself, and Dom Solanke slashes that one into the roof of the net. 2-1. Then, brilliant from David Brooks on the run to set up Arnott Danjuma, who's going to squeeze that one in on the near post, going to fool Raphael there. And it's 2-2. Then, what a goal. Wow. Look at that one. And that is going in off the crossbar to Raphael's right-hand side. Now, brilliant goal by Cook. Raphael couldn't have done anything about this, but look at this incriminating picture, because he could have done a lot about this. Keeper on safari alert. Solanke takes it off him and does quite well when you look at that picture. Just clips it over the two defenders and into the net. Brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant game. Brilliant comeback from Bournemouth. Tyndall gets some credit for the little tweak at half-time. And be under no illusions, Reading bossed it tactically in the first half. They did a really good job on Bournemouth, but obviously not so much in the second half. There are the numbers, 59-41 on the possession, 10 shots to 9, 6 shots to 5 on target, 10 corners to 2. But look there, big chances are revealing. 3 big chances to 2, and the only big chances Reading got, they scored. So some sense we saw, definitely for 45 minutes, the Reading side that won 7 and drew 1 of the first 8 games. Excuse me. And let's have a look at the table. So Bournemouth, they did temporarily go top until the 3 o'clock kickoffs there. They move on to 23 points, 2 straight victories. Reading dropped from first place to 6th place in one game week in just a few hours there. So look, obviously you can see the 4 straight defeats. It was coming, the slight drop. But I guess if you're a Reading fan, you look at the first half and say that's more where they wanted to go. And you would try and play up the mitigating factor that not every team will have David Brooks playing for them or Arnott Danjuma, and not every team will have a Lewis Cook worldie from 30 yards. So look, we'll look at the preview show tomorrow at the next fixtures for Reading, but some sense of stabilising, but they just need to squeak out a 0-0 draw or something to stop this losing run, which if you look at the red and the green in the table there is the worst in the league. Let's go to your comments here. Lewis Cook's goal was incredible. It was superb, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. And I think as well, David Brooks had done a little dribble beforehand. What a goal that was by Cook. Only saw the highlights. Brilliant comeback. Yeah, absolutely superb game. Surprised how well Bournemouth for doing. The players they sold and the experienced managers doing great, aren't they? I think Kelly will start a left back now. Certainly that little tweak worked, Jacob, isn't it? Disappointingly for me as a Reading fan, I thought Bournemouth were brilliant in the second half. I thought we had them at half time. Yeah, and I was sat here on the watch along going, Reading have absolutely nailed this so far at half time. No big chances conceded, took both their chances, 2-0 up away at a year 1 parachute team. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So look, we'll see what's coming up for Reading, but they've got to start to stabilise now. I would have thought it's not gonna go defeat. Stranger things have happened, but there you go. Took some encouragement from the first half. Absolutely, really very decent first half performance. Not too many teams will be 2-0 up at half time away at Bournemouth this season. Into 3rd place go Bristol City. Speaking of another new manager doing a pretty excellent job. I've got to be able to call him Streaky Dean now, haven't I? Surely, after 4 straight wins, then how many was it without a win? 3 straight wins for Bristol City. Superb stuff. And congratulations to Bristol City as well for breaking up the cartel. There was a point where we thought we were going to have all 3 of the year 1 parachute teams, 1, 2, and 3. Look, we're probably delaying the inevitable with that. It may well happen, but great job by Bristol City to be in 3rd after 12 games. And got to give Dean Holden a lot of credit. He's new to the job. I, along with many people, was like, how's this one going to go? It's going very, very well. And in the face of like last season when they signed Afobe and lost him. I think Mawson would have been a key player for them. Lost him, and Sessegnon and Weimann as well. So great job. There are the teams. We should probably mention they're playing Derby here and going to lose going to win 1-0. Derby, obviously, in the midst of takeover stuff and without manager. So Bentley in goal, back four there. De Silva, Callis, Viner, Hunt, O'Dowd, Naj, Patterson in midfield. Really, only one proper central midfielder in there. Semenyo, Martin and Wells, I believe, and we've got Bristol City fans in the chat here. That's what they did at Cardiff, wasn't it, to get the win, sort of doing it with a front three type scenario, where basically to cope with the injuries, isn't it? Marshall, Byrne, Wisdom, Clark, Buchanan for Derby. Rooney and Bird back in the double pivot. It's interesting that happens the game after Koku's gone. I was quite like that last season. Knight, Holmes, Lawrence, Waghorn up top. No Josviak on the bench. No, presumably not come back from internationals healthy. We'll see. Did Bielik return as well? No, we expect to see those two back soon. Let's just have a little look at the goal. A nice quick transition and a ball into Famara Jeju. And look at that with the left foot under a lot of pressure from, excuse me if I get this wrong, blurry picture, Nathan Byrne by the look of it. And he's going to drive that really efficiently low to David Marshall's right. I mean, look at the defensive setup. It's going to take a good shot. And it is a good shot from Jeju, who comes on as a substitute to get the winner there. So I'll reiterate, great job by Holden. Let's have a look at the numbers, which are going to irk Derby fans, I think, because look there, 63% on the possession, 13 shots, but there we go. Shot quality is the key, isn't it? Only 2 on target, 3 on target for Bristol City there, 6 corners to 1. No big chances in this game. I guess pressure on Jeju takes that one out. So similar story for Derby there. Loads of passes, loads of possession, no goals, and they lose. So let's just see what that's done to the league table for both. As I say, Bristol City is just amusing this. Bristol City fans getting cross with me for years, calling him Streaky Lee. And it's like, right, that thing's done now. And then we get 4 straight wins. And let me do my maths here. So then it would have been 5 games without a win, followed by 3 straight wins. So just crazy. But 23 points from 12 is superb. That's definitely automatic promotion form across the season. That's high 1.9 probably, isn't it? I can't do the maths in my head. Derby County, yuck. 24th, 1 win in 12. 3 straight defeats, only 6 points there. However, look at it, they're only 3 points off safety. Still can get out of this, but they need desperately to get this takeover and this hire correct, because obviously we're in no club's too big to go down territory here. If they get this wrong and there's some sense of chaos, either it's a bad hire or the takeover falls through or something like that, they're in trouble, because chaos relegates big clubs. They can have as many good players as they like, but if the situation is as unstable as that could turn out to be, what you want if you're a Derby fan, takeover done nice and cleanly, new manager in, nice and smooth, get the right guy, and off you go and hopefully move up the table. But that all remains to be seen, and they are bottom at the moment. We are going up, says Chris Hambridge. Nice. Let's have a look here. You can take the Bristol off Lee, but you can't take the Streaky out of Bristol. Apparently not. We let Derby come onto us because we knew they had no scorers, considering we hadn't trained all week because of COVID. We done okay. Better than okay. 3rd in the table. Wow. Did front 3 when we went a goal down at Huddersfield and won. So it's working well, that front 3 system, isn't it? Good old Streaky Dean up the Robins. Derby's still a surprise in me how bad they seem. Not going well, is it? Yet again, we're solidly defensive against Derby. Semenyo, another assist yesterday, and JG first goal of the season. Please don't call Dean Streaky Dean. You have to give me evidence that he's not streaky first, and I'll stop doing it. But yes, tremendous stuff. Bit says if Derby don't sort themselves out soon, they'll find it hard to avoid the drop. Brilliant stuff. Let's go on to Swansea versus Rotherham. So the Swans also breaking the year one parachute cartel up at the top of the table there. They move into fourth. The entire top four, as we now know it, all victorious yesterday. It was Swansea 1, Rotherham 0. Matt Grimes back in the team as captain and scoring. He's been in and out, hasn't he, this season? There is the Swansea team: Woodman, Norton, Bennett, Cabango, Roberts, Bidwell in midfield. Really, I'm not so for score. I've got that right. That's probably 3-5-2. I don't know if there's any Swans fans in the chat who can correct that. But Grimes, Fulton, and look at their front three there. Sorry, I don't know what my mouse is doing. Danda, for goodness sakes, Danda, Cullen, and Lowe. Obviously, no Ayew. And taking an Ayew out of Swansea is quite the hindrance, considering how good he's been for them. Nice and stable for Rotherham there. Blackman, Olasunde Ehekwe, McDonald, Harding, Lindsay Barlaser, Crooks, Joseph Soon. Hurst starts this one. Wiles as well. So no Ladapo from the start. No Smith there in terms of those Rotherham striking options. Let's have a look at the goal. It is by Matt Grimes, as I say, in the first half. You're kind of thinking, how the hell does he score from there? It's punched out by Jamal Blackman, who you can see is then on the ground, the Rotherham goalkeeper. And all Grimes does, and what he does very well, is you can see gets his knee over the ball, gets his technique right, hits it early, hits it into the ground. And if you're wondering where that ball's actually going, it's going to the gap between Cabango 44 and Blackman, who then gets a hand on it but pushes it into the net. So not the most beautiful goal you'll ever see. And there were a few this weekend. We'll talk about that at the end. But he hit it early and in it went. And that was enough to give Swansea the win. Let's have a look at the numbers and see what they tell us about this game. 54-46 on the possession, 11-8 on the shots, 8-7 on the corners. The key one there for me, though, is 3 big chances to 0. And the key thing there is Rotherham are very competitive. They're decent defensively. But what do they sacrifice in terms of chance creation in doing that? And you can see today, or yesterday, in fact, they were competitive, only conceded 1 goal. However, they didn't create any big chances themselves. So you're then reliant on scoring a low percentage chance, which I went very high there, didn't I? If you have championship players, you're more than capable of doing, but you can't rely on that week after week, can you? So let's see what that's done for the two teams in terms of the table. So as I say, Swansea joined Bristol City in breaking up the year one parachute cartel at the top of the table. Obviously, a Watford win would have changed that, but we'll talk about that in a second. So well done, Cardiff. Swansea, excuse me. Eek. Not a mistake you want to make that one, is it? Apologies. They're into fourth. Just defensively, look there. Borough 6 conceded, Swansea 7 conceded, Norwich 8 conceded. The best defensive teams in the division. 2 of them, what you call possession teams there, whereas Borough you might call more a pragmatic team. Rotherham 19th, but with Rotherham all season, we just need to look at the number Rotherham have against the number that the 22nd team has. And at the moment, Wycombe have 8 and Rotherham have 12. That's fine. That's okay. So Rotherham's start is good. And also, look at the points per game for Rotherham. 12 from 12. That obviously projects 1 per game. That's 46. often enough, that one. Most years, that is enough to keep you in the division. And if we are suspecting a year one parachute cartel and all of Norwich, Bournemouth and Watford to score 85 plus, then that will, by definition, lower the total at the bottom of the table, because you need whipping boys for 3 teams to get 85 points. We know what happens at one end of the table obviously directly impacts what happens at the other. Let's have a look here. Cooper doing a great job at Swansea. They don't ever seem to spend much, but they keep putting together good teams. Totally agree with that. Couldn't have said that better. XRGT, yeah, back 5 with Bidwell and Robertson wing backs. Yeah, it looked like SofaScore had a bit of a mare with that one. Should stop that shot from Grimes. I know what you mean, Ashley, but when you actually see it, obviously I don't have the rights to show the footage, but it's very much, he hits it early, and the fact that he hits it early does the damage. Is the cream starting to rise in the Championship now, Lee? Yes. Well, certainly the relegated teams are, aren't they? Delayed Pilot said, I've not seen him apart from highlights, but Bennett seems to fit in nicely to that back 3. Yes, me, exactly the same there. So Anna says, Rotherham a very competitive team, and most competitive team out of the promoted. Yes, at the moment, I'd agree with that, Anna. Although just watch out for Coventry on their fixtures. I think they've got some good fixtures coming up in terms of getting some new points. Right, where are we going next? Right, hold your horses. We're going to Stoke versus Huddersfield, which was mental and nearly saw a very, very fast hat-trick as well. It was Stoke 4, Huddersfield 3. Brilliant fun doing this on the Saturday Super Stream, because there seemingly was, I think there was 4 goals in 12 minutes at one point in the first half, which was just brilliant stuff. Joseph Bursick past the Stoke goalkeeper, no idea on him. Fox, Bart, Suter, Smith, John Obi, Sam Klukas comes back in, and he's going to score a brilliant goal in the second half. Tyrese Campbell, look, us Championship fans already knew this, but the rest of the world, who might be a little less tuned in than we are, let's just say, not slapping ourselves on the back, and now catching up to the fact that Tyrese Campbell's really good. Nick Powell, Jacob Brown, Stephen Fletcher. For Huddersfield, again, not the usual goalkeeper there, Pereira, Dehaney, Stearman, Sarr, Toffolo, Eiting, who's now doing bits in this team, isn't he? Hogg, O'Brien, and Benza, Campbell, Karoma. Let's have a look at some of these goals then. And there's 7. So I'll try and get through nice and quick. Another nice goal by Huddersfield. That's Eiting arriving. He's actually hit that on the volley, and he's going to stick that in the corner to Bursick's left-hand side. And another assist from Harry Toffolo down the left, who's definitely going to be in a lot of people's team of the season as the left-back. Certainly so far, he'd be in mine. I'm trying to think of another there. Whilst I make that sweeping statement without even giving it any thought. There is Tyrese Campbell. That ball's gone loose in the box. He sticks it in with the right foot. And then 2 minutes later, in he goes. What a great finish that is. He's going to find through the keeper's legs there, drills that in low left-footed. And I believe he did have a chance one-on-one-ish, but he takes it quite far to the left for the first half super speed hat-trick. But still great stuff from Campbell nonetheless. However, that has been played through, and that is Mbenza. He's running from the left-hand side, and he's going to stick that one in right-footed to make it. Are you keeping up? What's that? 2-2 now. However, here comes another goal, and we're going to play. Where's that one going to go? That is Tyrese Campbell has crossed that. Richard Stearman is wafting out his right leg. Does it hit his knee? Maybe his thigh. Anyway, it's going in the goal. It's an own goal. Here is the goal of the game, though, by Sam Klukas. He's going to drill that in left-footed, as he's very good at. What that doesn't show is an excellent bit of footwork and dribble going into that manoeuvre. Great goal by Klukas, who is very good in terms of Championship level and now will likely stay in that Stoke team. And there is Naby Sarr. Sorry, it's a bit blurry, that one. Climbing, you can see on the near post, he's going to head in that set play for 4-3. So not a good day for the two not very regular goalkeepers, let's just say. But a great day for us neutrals. Again, Michael O'Neill versus Carlos Corberán. We know what the numbers are likely going to say, and they say it. 69% possession for Huddersfield. However, Stoke create 14 shots, 7 on target. Look at that. 0 big chances for Stoke and 4 goals. There's some efficiency for you, Tyrese Campbell. 2 big chances for Huddersfield. You can see it was a slightly open game. Look, 17 shots inside the box for the teams combined there. And Stoke, again, they're very efficient team, aren't they? Good defensively. And with only, always we see this, 241 passes. They just don't need the ball to create lots of openings for themselves. And if we look at the table, they're in really nice form over those last 4 games there. 3 wins in 4, so that's now 21 points from 12. I've predicted that Stoke and Brentford, I think, long-term, although looking where Brentford are at the moment, maybe I might have to revise that, are going to be the ones to join Norwich, Bournemouth and Watford in the challenge. However, Bristol City and Swansea are having a damn good bash at staying up there themselves, but I just can see Stoke just grinding this one out this season. Huddersfield, well, that's lower than I expected them to be, actually, 16th, but 14 points, and it's tight there, isn't it? 4 points across 2 games, and you're probably another 4 or 5 places up, aren't you? I'd be quite happy if I was a Huddersfield fan. Honestly, obviously not with the defeat, but the way Corberán's taken on the job and some of the goals they've scored and the manner of their performances, I think, have been very, very good. Sounds like a counter-attack game. There we go. In a low-scoring championship week, who'd have thought Stoke versus Huddersfield will end up 4-3? There you go. You expect Stoke to be keeping clean sheets, don't we? A little bit concerned about our style of play for a few games this season. We play high pressing with low possession. Indeed, we look knackered in the last 20 minutes. Oh, because of the pressing. That's an interesting point. We can't keep that up with this schedule. 5 subs might help, but yeah, very good point. What a bonkers game. It made the EFL highlights show rip up their scripts. Well, there you go indeed. Thunderbolt Lawrence says, Leeds fan watching the Championship from outside looks just as ruthless as ever. Absolutely, with Derby and Forest located at the bottom. No respect for the status of the club. No, I as an Ipswich fan would know it has no respect for the status of the club. If you have a chaotic season in the Championship, it will eat you up and spit you out down into League One, where you may be doomed to stay forever. Hopefully not. Millwall 1, Cardiff 1 is our game number 7. We are just over half the way through. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this Sunday morning. Always a good fun time to do this on a Sunday, and especially with the schedules this season, it just allows us to get it cleared up and reset for a new week with another 2 games in. Just round and round and round it goes. So Cardiff getting a point there at Millwall with a 1-1 draw. Not entirely sure about that system for Millwall. Someone will let me know in the chat if that's actually what happened. 4-2-3-1 for Rowett, possibly. I don't know. Wallace, Cooper, Hutchison, Leonard across the back. So Williams and Woods sitting. Bennett and Wallace wide with Smith and Thompson there in the midfield. I suppose what it does say is that no 3 at the back there, which we had seen over and again from Millwall for months and months now, haven't we? And Cardiff, a little bit of a tweak there. Looks like Neil Harris has gone back to his old 4-4-2 that was pretty successful, wasn't it, at Millwall back in the 17-18 season. Kiefer Moore and Rob Glatzel starting up top there with Hoylett and Wilson as wingers. And, I mean, you tell me in the comments, are you more dangerous with 1 up top and Harry Wilson as a 10? Or are you more dangerous with 2 up top and Harry Wilson wide? I don't know. I don't know the answer, hence why I posed the question. So you have a look at the goals, and you will see for this first goal, Alex Smithy's probably very much regretting his decision to come out for that. Look at the keeper's position there. Matt Smith just has to then win the header and guide it goalwards, and he's guaranteed to score. So bit of a rush of blood to the head That was a Coldplay album, wasn't it? By Smithies. This is great from Kiefer Moore, I have to say. When I saw the goal come through, I always predict how the goal will be before I've seen it. And I thought, oh, Moore back post header. But he's played through and he pretty much takes that from 30, 40 yards out, makes the run. Maybe it looks like there might be a slight deflection on that. Is that Jake Cooper sliding in there? I can't quite see the number. And he puts it to Białkowski's left. Speaking of Bart, a few minutes after that, he makes a hell of a save with his feet from Harry Wilson there to preserve the point for the Lions of Millwall. 1-1 it ended. Let's have a look at the numbers, see whether they tell us anything. God, who has the possession in a game between Neil Harris and Gary Rowett? It's like after you, isn't it? We want to counter-attack you. You have the ball. 59-41 in Cardiff's favour. Looks like Cardiff created more, did they? Look at the big chances, but there you go. 14 shots to 7 for Cardiff. However, the big chances stat is always revealing. 3 big chances for Millwall. I think there was a header in the second half, possibly Sean Williams. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was a very, very serviceable chance. Oh, God, and Bodvarsson missed one at the end, didn't he? So, look, I don't know. It looked very open for the last 10 minutes. Probably could have gone either way. I suspect both sides would think, given their chances, they could have won the game. Neither of them did. And how many times this season will Cardiff go over 500 passes? I wonder. Let's have a look at the league table, which tells us that Millwall are in 9th. They're very difficult to beat. Only twice in 12 games have they lost. However, they have not won in 4. Cardiff, exactly the same thing, really, but obviously they've got 2 extra defeats than Millwall. So by definition, they're twice as easy to beat. In fact, statistically, there, but just not enough wins. And if you're a Millwall fan, you're kind of happy with 9th and hope you can push on. If you're a Cardiff fan, 15th won't do, especially given it's a year 2 parachute team and Harry Wilson's there, and there's been some investment there for Harris. They'd expect to be at least in the second quartile looking at the playoffs rather than in the third quartile looking at the top half of the team. Let's have a look. Oh, Thompson missed a header. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, I thought that would have been out of character. Ben Budvarsson missed. Unforgivable. To be fair to him, Alex, I think he knew that if they get a close-up of his face after he missed, and I think he knew it was a really bad miss, wasn't it? Have Millwall got major injuries? I'd like to know if they've got some good players out as we play them next. I don't think so. I think the opposite, actually. I think we've got players coming back. I think Parrott is returning off the bench there. Hutch should have fouled more as Cooper was on the cover. Naughty little shirt tug there. Yeah, fair point. Moore did well, didn't he? But yeah, tactical foul would have just been a yellow card then. Probably. Good point. Alex, as ever. Right. Let's move on to Luton versus Blackburn, which was a 1-1 draw. Do you know, I think I might have predicted that. There's so many games, I can never remember what I've predicted. You guys remember what I've predicted because you mocked me for it afterwards. But so Luton, Blackburn, 1-1. Luton quite fluid with their selections. No Collins this time. Cornick up top. Collins, I think, played for Ireland, didn't he? Norrington, Davis, Bradley, Pearson, Craney. I think we've seen a back 3 from Luton a couple of times, haven't we? Glenn Ray sitting in it. He's in front there with Dewsbury Hall, Monker, Berry, and Lee off the front there. So what I think Nathan Jones does well at Luton is loads of players can play his style in loads of different systems. Literally 15 or so. So they'll probably be one of the better teams in the whole league, actually, for rotating players, I would have thought. Luton. For Blackburn there, Kaminsky in goal, Rankin, Costello, Lenihan, Wharton, Douglas, Tribal, Johnson, Rothwell, and that really good front 3 there, Elliott, Armstrong, Brereton. However, Armstrong, the top scorer in the entire division, kept out yesterday by Luton. It was Sam Gallagher who got their goal. Shall we have a look? Here is, who scored for Luton? That's Luke Berry, isn't it? So it's driven in, and Berry just getting himself, as you need to if you're playing in 3 off the front, into the box, help out there. And he just gets a little change of direction on that to pop that past Kaminski. This is a fun freeze frame. Look there, that ball's been headed across from the left-hand side. And that is Sam Gallagher's foot. Just going to prod that. And look, can you see Simon Sluga has got all his weight about to go down on his left foot. And it just floats the other side of Sluga to Sluga's right, into the left corner of the net, as we're looking for a 1-1 draw in this one. Let's have a look at the numbers. 59 on the possession for Blackburn. Look at that. 28 shots in this game. Sounds fun, as we would expect from these two. Only one big chance apiece. I'm not sure you'd call Gallagher's chance a big chance there, considering the pressure that was on him. But will both sides be happy with that one? Let's have a look at the table. Luton, look, only one defeat in the last 5 there for the Hatters. They're in the top half in 10th, 18 points from 12. Remember, they're only promoted into the division last season. That's really good, I have to say, from Luton. Blackburn, yeah, they're probably the team that confuses me the most in the league, Blackburn, because I look at them often and I think really experienced manager who's been promoted out of this division before, top scorer in the division, yet, and I'm still going to say it about Blackburn, I hope no Blackburn fans find this insulting, who have they beaten yet? Do you know what I mean? I remember a 5 win against Derby when Derby were stinking it out under Koku, and Wycombe with 10 men they beat, and Coventry with 10 men they beat. And otherwise, I just need more evidence that Blackburn are a top half side, when sometimes you see some of the goals they score and you think this team should be really good, especially with Harvey Elliott and Adam Armstrong up the top end. Let's have a look at your comments on that one. Guys, anything on Luton, Blackburn? I don't think so. Lee says views on Norrington Davis. I think he's well liked, and he's started a lot of games there at left back or left wing back. Right, in that case, oh, there we go. We've got Nick down here. We played okay, a little disappointed with their goal. Onwards and upwards, which it most definitely has been over the last years for Luton. Wycombe 0, Brentford 0. Bit of a coupon buster, this one. I think Brentford were the shortest priced team to win this weekend, but they didn't. Sorry, just read that comment. Blackburn are one of 10 teams that will finish 12th. Is it me predicting it? I predict many, many teams to finish somewhere in the middle of the table, don't I? So, yeah, 0-0. Wycombe will be more than happy with that. That's last year's losing playoff finalists, Brentford, who are a little bit underperforming, aren't they? I'm expecting, I said in this next run, crazy run of 9 games in 5 weeks, watch for Stoke and Brentford to rise from the mid-table. And Stoke are showing me some signs. Brentford, not yet, but hey, maybe I'm being harsh, but we have high standards for Brentford, don't we? They've been so good for such a long while now, or so competitive in this division. So clean sheet and a draw, but they probably would have hoped to win this one. Pontus Jansson returns. I wonder if that was key in Brentford keeping a clean sheet. Interesting selection there. Godos, Kanyos, Tony, and Mbeumo all playing. I wonder if we might see the fabled 4-3-3 of Brentford turn into a 4-2-3-1, given the options available. Maybe he's going to want to get Jensen and De Silva, or when Norgard returns in a double pivot, and have all 3 of them, Mbeumo, Godos, and Kanyos, playing off of Tony, rather than the front 3 that, yes, was brilliant last season, but there's only Mbeumo left. Watkins and Ben Rama have gone. In terms of Wycombe, they do play better when Akinfenwa's in the team, don't they? Also up there, the back 4 is now settled with Jacobson didn't start the season, did he? Stewart, Knight and Grimmer. Thompson, Gate, Wheeler, with Horgan off of Kashkit and Akinfenwa. So fair dues to Ainsworth, because he's tweaked and trialled, and that's what he's ended up with, the protection of the midfielders there, and a bit more threat up top, rather than it was often just a runner up top, wasn't it, with Kashkit, and what's the other chap's name? Not Wheeler. He's probably on the subs bench. Samuel. There we go. Right, let's have a look at the numbers. 63% possession. However, no big chances. Hit woodwork once for Brentford there. So it looks like Wycombe defended well in this game. And 0-0 is 0-0. Both sides take a point there. And Wycombe just very good for the last 5 games. Remember, prior to those last 5 games, they'd lost all 7, hadn't they? And now we have 8 points in 5 games, which anywhere across the season, 1.6 is not relegation form by any stretch, is it? So good for Wycombe. What we need to hope, if you're pro Wycombe in any way, shape, form or fashion, is that this is not a peak, that this is not going to be the best they're going to do all season, and that they're going to keep being able to roll this out. And as I say, you're looking at, 43 to 46 points will probably keep you up, depending on what else happens elsewhere in the table. So, yeah, great stuff from Wycombe, particularly that last 5 games, highly viable when absolutely no signs of that in the first 7 games. So well done to Wycombe. Brentford, just not clicked yet. I know they're mythical slow starters, aren't they? And yes, they sold Ben Rama and Watkins, who are, just 2 brilliant championship players, weren't they? But, 5 points off the playoffs, 1 win in those last 5 games, just have not clicked, have they, yet? Figured out how you do it without Ben Rama and Watkins. Let's have a look here. Sloth asks, do you think it's fair to have such high expectations of Brentford? They sell their best players every season and recruit well, but it's very difficult to improve every season. Agree with all of that. I think the reason we have such high expectations is because they've done it so damn well. But I totally agree with your point that it's difficult to do. They've evidently done something that's difficult to do very well for consecutive 3 or 4 seasons straight now, haven't they? So I don't know. I don't know whether it's fair or not. We will find out, won't we? Wycombe were very good, says Peter. Brentford need to remember how to move the ball faster, which they have been so good at over the years, haven't they? Alex is talking Millwall there. Woods and Williams too similar. Watched our goal back. It was Woods, Wallace to Williams. There we go. A self-aware football fan. That's why I love our channel and our subscribers. Right, let's welcome back Tony Pulis then to the division. And he was welcomed back with a defeat and an early red card, which I must admit I haven't seen any quotes, but I'm sure he wasn't very happy with, let's just say. So it was Preston 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Preston finally winning a home game is another narrative in this one. They've been awful at home, haven't they? Barkhazen with the goal. That's what a Tony Pulis Sheffield Wednesday team looks like. Westwood back in, out of the cold. Palmer, Lee, Spurner, Van Aken across the back. Van Aken's a centre-half, isn't he? He's not already playing loads of centre-backs, is he? Let me know if you watch this game, whether that system's actually right. Odebajo, Patterson, Luongo, Bannon, Reach, Windass, who's not going to last, I think, there you go, 17 minutes. Preston, Reese leads the line with Sinclair, Potts, Barkhays, Nothing. Johnson, Ledson, Rafferty, Huntington, Bauer, Fisher. But if we just scroll down to the bench, you will see Ben Pearson returning, which is excellent news for Preston. Let's have a look at I've got the red card for you as well. So there it is. It's a very high foot there. You can see eyes on the ball. Not that that matters. Windass. Sorry, who is 15 for Preston? Is Joe Rafferty. Excuse my lack of knowledge there. Look, he goes in, he challenges. Ref's got a really good position, and it's given as serious foul play. I mean, what is the wording for serious foul play? Careless, reckless, endangering opponent. It only has to be one of those three, doesn't it? Is it careless? Probably not. Is it reckless? He doesn't charge in. Does he endanger the opponent? There's the out for the referee and for the red card. So obviously, me growing up watching 90s football, it's not a red card, but it's 2020 now. Well, you let me know in the comments. Put it this way: if it happened against the team you supported and you were in the stadium, I think the sense of outrage would be there. Is all I will say. But by the same token, by the letter of the law, you can argue most things, can't you? Here's the goal. It's a great goal, actually. Comes out to Barkhuizen. Look at that technique. Hey, standing foot down, perfect balance with the arms out. Going to volley that one in the left foot into the gap that Westwood has left. Great goal by Barkhuizen for the winner in this one for Preston. Let's have a look at the numbers. Wow, look at that possession. Welcome back, Tony. I love it. Pulis recording a wonderful 26% possession with 10 men in the first game. Look, obviously, it's an out, isn't it, for Pulis? There's nearly 75 minutes without one of your players. Never helps, does it? So, but then look at that, big chances. 1 to Wednesday, 0 to Preston. So Pulis will probably say, "Look, take the red card out of that. I'm quite happy with that." And only beaten by a worldie. So I don't know what the mouse is doing again. It has a mind of its own. So I'm sure Pulis will accentuate those stats in his favour. However, the one stat that doesn't help is that Wednesday are still in the bottom 3 points off of Coventry. You can see there, but just watch now. There's nine games in the next 5 weeks, 8 to go now. Just keep an eye on Wednesday and how few goals they concede. And do we expect Wednesday to be in the bottom 3 at Christmas? I don't. So we'll see what Mr. Pulis does, but he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Preston there now 2 wins in 3, and that is the first home win to add to the 4 away wins into the top half. They will hope to move forward now, and they will hope that the return of Ben Pearson will help them do just that. And now with Emil Reich, they've actually got a forward. So it looks like they're better set up this season now, Preston, than they have been in the past. Let's have a look here. Oh, goodness, we have a troll in the chat who I will immediately block. He has disappeared. Arise, Tony Pulis of 26% possession. When is Borough Wednesday? I don't know, but I cannot wait. Sensational. Wednesday should be used to playing now with 10 men. Oh, dear. Red card specialist. Westwood should have caught the ball, says Phil, punched it with distance. Yeah, probably fair point. However, great volley by Barkhuizen. 1 shot on target between 2 teams. Pulis likes his players to be aggressive. Karate kicking in the neck, though, would not meet approval. No. There you go. Lovely. Right. Let's move on. And Barnsley, who I think if we look at the table over the past 5 games, are the form team in all of the division. Now, 4 wins in the last 5 for Barnsley and Valerian Ismail. I mean, we did say this. If you look at my pre-season predictions, I said, look, Barnsley have got a good squad and a good manager with Struber. They've still got some really good players in that squad. And I expected them to, whatever happened with Struber. And I think he wanted out in the end, didn't he? But they're in lovely form now, aren't they, Barnsley? There is the team. Sorry, SofaScore have gone for both in red, which is rather unhelpful. But Barnsley, very, very solid. Not much changes apart from the odd striking change. They've got Herbie Kane and Luke Thomas on the bench there. But certainly it's been James and Mowat with Stiles and Britton as the wing-backs. And that back 3 and keeper never changes. So I like what I see from Barnsley. Stable team selection, 3 decent European centre-backs, and a lot of options with Chaplin, Woodrow, Kane, Thomas, Freeser up the top. And they're doing really well and winning games in this one. Forest there, Samba, Krissy, Figueiredo, McKenna, Ribeiro. He's keeping going with Miguel Angel Guerrero, but from what I saw of the highlights of this one, I don't think Guerrero had his shooting boots on in this game. So we may not see him in the next game, let's just say. Still no Lewis Grabban. If there's any Forest in the chat, let me know what's going on there. I'm guessing he's hurt or God knows what's happened. Let's have a little look here. Now, this is a hull of a goal. Cauley Woodrow, you can see, has just laid that off. He's over on the left of the picture. And that is Callum Styles' first time, left foot. He's going to larrup that one, and it flies right into the top corner like an arrow. Brilliant goal. I must say, in this game, Guerrero has missed a couple of good chances for Forest. And I think Barnsley hit the bar, the stats will tell us, 2 or 3 times as well prior to this goal. So it was a surprise it wasn't 0-0. Little bit lucky this one, I think. Woodrow comes back to him. He deserves a goal after hitting the bar twice, but he kind of miskicks it. And you see where the defender's charging down. That's where he's expecting a clean shot to go. And it bobbles up and goes behind him and into the net for the second goal for Barnsley. Quick double punch there by the Tykes. As I say, bit of a weird one when we actually look at the stats. Look at that. Chris Hughton, 59% possession. Who'd have thunk it, hey? 10 shots to 13. And there's the interesting ones for me. Look, Barnsley hit woodwork 3 times. 3 big chances, 2 big chances missed. Forest, 4 big chances, 4 missed. So the Stoke Huddersfield was 4-3 and Bournemouth Reading was 4-2. This could have been the same by the look of it, but ends 2-0 to Barnsley. So look, let's have a look at the table. If you're a Barnsley fan, well, we don't need to sugarcoat this. You'd be extremely happy with that. 4 wins in 5, 12 points. And yeah, if we scroll the table, you won't find anyone else with, what have Norwich got there? 11. Yeah, you won't find anyone else with 12 points in that last 5. Absolutely superb form. Just touching the top half there, or just one place below in 13th. For Forest, I guess if I'm Chris Hughton and I want to spin this, I'm saying we created 4 big chances and missed all of them. So, and I'm ignoring the fact that Barnsley hit the bar 3 times or whatever it was. So, yeah, disappointing one from a Forest perspective there, if you're of that persuasion. But there's well enough to say that I'm using the Christmas thing as a barometer that there's 9 games so quickly. I suspect Forest will be at least 3-4 places higher between now and Christmas, won't they? Surely. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's go to the comments. Indeed. Hannah says, Hughton made 1 sub, Ishmael 5. There you go. And we talked about the attacking options on the bench for Barnsley. Yeah, nice. Barnsley are going to surprise many this season. Well, Phil, they may surprise many, but we know our subscribers watch this closely, and it won't be a surprise to any of us to see those decent Barnsley signings be doing well. Will it? Callum Styles, man of the match. He's excellent, isn't he, Styles? And you just wonder whether, in the end, in the long term, he's going to end up as a central midfielder because, maybe in the modern game, when you see people like the Liverpool fullbacks doing what they do, maybe wing back is his thing, but he just really good players normally end up in central midfield, don't they, if they can play there? And I just wonder. Delay Pilot, as a Fulham fan, always good to see Woodrow amongst the goals. Yeah, really decent championship striker. He really, really is. Could Barnsley finish 12th? Yes, for sure. I think Barnsley will be comfortably mid to lower table this year. Mowat and Woodrow, 2 of the better players in the league. It just depends on Barnsley whether here's a scenario that all championship fans will hate. If, for example, and I'll just pick out 3 players, David Brooks at Bournemouth, Emi Buendia at Norwich, and Ismail Assar at Watford. What happens if someone goes for one of those in January and 20 million quid comes into the championship? Where are those year 1 parachute teams going to go? They're going to go to Barnsley and Reading and Bristol City and Swansea, and they're going to want the best players from those teams. So that's the relegation and parachute conundrum, I'm afraid. And you've got players there, Brooks, Buendia, Sarr, what, 25 million each for each of those? 75 million quid's worth, potentially, if they get the right bidder at the right time. And I just suspect that, that's going to be the pool that those clubs will then shop into to replace, won't they? So, we'll see. We will see. Let's move on, however, to our last game. Do I even want to talk about this, having done the watch-along? Coventry 0, Birmingham 0, which I can tell you, and thank you to those people who sat with me for 2 hours on Friday night, was dull as dishwater for 17 minutes. It improved. Mark Robbins, to his credit, did try and make an attacking substitution, but it was just heinous before then. Not a good watch at all. But both sides get a point and both sides get a clean sheet. So there we go. For Coventry, the back three is no more for Coventry there. McCallum, Hine, McFadzean, Darbo in there. Sheaf and Kelly in a double pivot, which means Shipley, O'Hare and Hamer off Tyler Walker. Hamer didn't play front right, did he? It's more a sort of a 4-3-3. Birmingham, San Jose into midfield now. He often moves between defence and midfield. So Colin, Roberts, Dean, Friend, San Jose and Sunjic, Sanchez, McGree gets a start, Bella and Jutkovic in this one. Look, it was really drab. It was really dull. However, Birmingham will think they should have won the game because Lukas Jutkovic, and we had a lovely long chat about this, who the best aerial players are in the Championship. Kiefer Moore and Hugill and Jutkovic. There was loads of suggestions. Sorry if I missed anybody out. But from an attacking player, if you want a striker attacking crosses in the Championship, Jutkovic should be right at the top of your list. I know there were Birmingham fans annoyed at Karanka for not, say, bringing in Hogan or Lecco, or I mean, Terrell did come in, or Crowley. But if I'm Karanka, I would be saying, look, I'd say this privately. I set the team up, I got my clean sheet, and I created 3 big chances, balls into the box for my striker who's really good in the air. So on another day, Birmingham win this game, don't they? Coventry, I'm expecting to have a little bit of a trend upwards in results, but it's not coming yet. I think their fixtures are helpful. If you check the video I did previewing the fixtures going forward. But yeah, I still contend as well that Coventry, Wycombe, Rotherham, the 3 relegated teams, the 3 promoted teams last season, all need to answer the question. Okay, it's all well and good Rotherham having a point per game, but the question these promoted teams need to answer is, who are we finishing above to avoid relegation? And I just worry for the 3 promoted teams there that Wednesday under Pulis will move up the table, and Derby, if they get the takeover done in the higher right, will also move up the table. And then if I'm Rotherham, Coventry, Wycombe, I know we're supposed to be talking about Coventry at the moment, so let's say if I'm Coventry, who in that league, who are obviously, if you're assuming Wednesday and Derby do move away, which they might not, who finishes below? And you look above and you think, I don't really know. We're looking for a team to go chaotic, like maybe a Hull did one season, selling their 2 best players and going down last season, or it took a Wigan and a points deduction last season. But that's my only worry for those teams down there. The question is, who are they finishing above? Right, that is our 12 games. Let's have a look at the table. And we'll do this without those 2 teams highlighted, if I just click the correct buttons. So the cartel is nearly there, isn't it? Look, so Norwich go top, 6 wins and 2 draws in the last 8. Brilliant form from them. Bournemouth go second. The cartel is only let down by Watford there, who are just a point behind, but in 5th place. But our 3 year 1 parachute teams, 1st, 2nd and 5th, which is slightly concerning for everyone who doesn't have 45 million quid and some ex-Premier League players in their squad from last season. Well done to Bristol City and Swansea. Bristol City 3 straight wins in third, Swansea in fourth. Watford, as I said, in fifth. Reading dropped from first to sixth yesterday, although, yes, I get it. That drop has been facilitated by losing 4 games on the trot. Stoke, 3 wins in 4, move into seventh. Again, my long-term prediction is that Stoke and Brentford in the end will join that top 6, although Brentford aren't showing me much signs yet. Borough dropped to 8th after that defeat. Millwall, no wins in 4 for them, but hard to beat as ever. Luton drawing. They could have gone into 8th with a win yesterday if they'd held on. Brentford lower than I expected. Preston now moving up into a more Preston-like position there with 2 wins in 3. Barnsley, form team in the division over the last 5 games with those 12 points. Brilliant stuff from them. They are now 8 points above the drop and looking more around mid-table as where they want to be functioning. Blackburn, Cardiff are lower than I suspected so far. Huddersfield are doing good, but will want to just push up a couple more places. Birmingham and QPR, how are they doing as opposed to expectations? Is all I would say. I think their fans would want them somewhere in the middle, wouldn't they? But is what it is with those 2 clubs and players sold and years and years without. Not in QPR's case, but in Birmingham's case, years without parachute payments now. Rotherham, point per game, decent. Forest, well, still expecting them to climb, but not happened yet. Coventry, and then the bottom 3 is Wycombe, Sheffield Wednesday, and Derby. Let us have a look at our top scorers and our top creators. I will... We'll do this on a bigger view so you can see nice and clearly. Here are our top 10 goal scorers. So not really many in the goals yesterday. I think, 3 or 4 of them were. So Armstrong top with 11, Tony 10. Zhao was on the score sheet yesterday. He goes up to 7. Ayew injured. Campbell got 2 to go up to 5. Danjuma scored. Pookie scored. So a group of players there on 5, joined by Scott Sinclair, Jed Wallace on 4, and Kiefer Moore moved himself on to 4 as well. In terms of our key creators, we will look at key passes per game, and just as ever, look, not just the best in the league, but miles the best in the league. Buendia, look at that. An entire unit point ahead of everybody else there. So a key pass is one that creates an opportunity on goal for a teammate. I'll get the actual proper SofaScore definition there. But I find this stat very revealing, as in which of the players that can create goals for their team. And I'm just amazed he's still there. That no one. I don't know what sort of bids they got for Buendia in the summer or what will happen in January, but just so many levels above the Championship. It's not true. Look there in second, Gus Hamer for Coventry. He's been fun. Harvey Elliott for Blackburn and Harry Wilson, good loan players there. Both from, is Wilson still on Liverpool's books? I think he is, isn't he? Quintia for Norwich there at fullback. Pack for Cardiff, Mahoney, Jacobson. That might be set plays there. Wallace and Rooney make up our list of creators. Let's talk team of the week. I'll go to your comments first and give you a second for you to consider team of the week. Let's look at some comments here. Mr. Rangers review. Can I say we played well and could and should have won if I was trying to use it? Yeah, Dykes handballing one in. Please, Paul Warren, drop Blackman and Hurston. Stop being so stubborn. Interesting. And they do have, what's his name, Ian? Johansson, the keeper that came in from Leicester. Bearing in mind, we had Matt Smith up top. 0 corners. Yeah. Callum Britton is outstanding. Yes, that's been a really good signing as well. Yes, the Białkowski save. He does one a week pretty much, doesn't he, with his feet. Super Swans, Upper Swans. There we go. Looking at the form table, Barnsley will look functional. Yep. It's got to keep putting it together, won't they? Let's have a look here. Ben, fancy sorting out the mess at Forest, says Max. Give it time. I think he'll be there. I think they'll move up the table fairly gradually. Right, team of the week. So Norwich possibly with their form and moving to the top of the table, and Bins, I never ever give it to them. Bournemouth for the comeback, sensational. Definitely those two. Bristol City with all the COVID stuff. Who else? Stoke 4-3. Preston. Barnsley maybe. So I'm sort of between Norwich, Bournemouth, Bristol City and Barnsley. I think we've got to give it to Bournemouth, really, haven't we? If you're 2-0 down at half-time and your manager makes a tweak and you win 4-2. So I will go for Bournemouth here. Let's see what you guys say. Remember, you are allowed to suggest a team that you don't support. That is allowed here. What have we got here for comments? Annie says Norwich went to Borough, got the win and the clean sheet. Look, if it was team of the 8 games, it would most definitely be Norwich, or team of the month, it would be Norwich now, especially because the other contender for that would be Borough, and Norwich obviously just beat Borough. But it's team of the game week, isn't it, really? Bournemouth, team of the week. Yeah, Bournemouth. Stoke, says Ben. Ending Borough unbeaten run. Norwich. Bournemouth, team of the week. Wycombe, possibly. Got to be Bournemouth. Yeah, so we're in the right ballpark. Yeah, I didn't mention Wycombe. Sorry, yeah, I should have mentioned Wycombe into that. I always just look and see who's won, which is maybe not the right thing to do. Goal of the week, I had it down as 4. So either Lewis Cook for Bournemouth, the long ranger, Callum Stiles for Barnsley, Tom Buck, Hazen's volley, and Sam Clucas's dribble and shot. I would probably myself go for Clucas. I think just because there are a few good long rangers, but just the feet before the goal. But some really, really brilliant goals in this week. Cook, Stiles, Cook, Stiles. There you go. Everyone disagrees with me that it's Clucas, but there you go. Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Been a really good time this morning. And Bit says we are all Leeds today. We are actually, because later on today on the channel, we'll be doing a Dearly Departed watch along. 4:30 Leeds versus Arsenal. And then at 7 p.m, premiering an interview with perhaps, looking at the stats, the greatest championship player in the history of the league, Kevin Phillips. Check that out at 7 p.m. I talked to Kevin Phillips for an hour on Friday. The interview is up. Some really interesting stuff on there. A 4-time playoff finalist, 5 times promoted, 150 goals, selected for England whilst he was in the championship. I hope you really, really enjoy that. Really pleased to be able to get a footballer of that caliber to come on the channel as well. So hopefully it's a new thing that we can start bringing in some big names like that. So check that out. Then tomorrow, what have we got tomorrow? We have got, the championship preview for the next round of games. Round 13 is on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we'll have the Dearly Departed review as well. And we'll have some smaller clips for Kevin Phillips, including, literally being in the car park at Ipswich. And, I'll let him tell the story. Kevin Phillips loves the Leeds. Does he? Or did he just always score past them? Or did he just always score past everyone? Impressive gig. Yes, really, really pleased to have Super Kevin Phillips on the channel. And as I say, when you crunch the numbers, I don't know whether we can argue that in terms of second tier, there's ever been a more impressive career. Very, very interesting story. Right. A couple of quick plugs and a thank you to our Russ, channel legend. He's been in the chat this morning. I don't know if he's still here. A fan and a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. He is the fan sponsor of the Championship Review Show. As ever, across the bottom, it says support via Super Chat, Patreon, or the Teesprings shop there. And there is the Teesprings shop. Go and grab yourself a t-shirt, a mug, a phone case, a hoodie, or a jumper over there. And we will be back this afternoon. If you're watching the Leeds game, come and join us. I know it draws a slightly different audience than my Championship content, but look, Leeds have been really fun to watch for the last 2 years. So what's the worst that could happen? There you go. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will see you later today. Watch along. Kevin Phillips interview. Lots of stuff coming up next week. So I'll bid you farewell and say over and out, and thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.